Alright guys, on today's video we have an enemy, and the enemy is the winter, the cold, sub-zero, snow, the flakes of the snow, and the icy roads, and the black ice, alright? But you don't want to be stuck on the side of the road if you're doing a long drive, if you're about to travel this holidays. So I'm going to be giving you a lot of tips, DIY, do it yourself, things that you can check on your car, and this can prevent you from being stuck on the road, alright? And watch my video complete, alright? I got a couple of things right here. This, first of all, is a de-icer. This little guy right here is a de-icer. Both of these right here are the de-icers. Very simple to do, so very simple to put in the car. You keep this in your trunk if you want. Very good stuff to have, right? This, you can de-ice anything with this, alright? You can spray this onto like a frozen windshield, frozen locks, frozen wiper blades, anything, guys. It's not going to harm the car, right? But it tells you here, will not harm rubber, metal, or paint. Finishes when used as directed, alright? So follow the instructions, guys, alright? This thing is very handy. I keep it in my car. Alright, instead of me going out there going crazy, this will do the job for you, alright? So if you have a frozen windshield, your wiper doesn't want to move, bad idea to make those wipers move because they're frozen. You're going to be breaking the mechanism inside. Alright, so let's get to this, and I'm going to show you how to use these things. This one I'm not going to be doing it because it's not snowing here. It's getting cold, the winter is coming, so I'm just going to show and tell here on this one. But this one right here is a washer fluid for the windshield. One thing you do want to do this winter is make sure your washer fluid is full, the reservoir is full, and any car you will see a blue cap like that with a little logo that looks like that. Alright, this is upside down. If it looked like something is sprayed onto the windshield. But I'm going to be putting this little guy right here. It's purple. It's good for the winter. It has a de-icer in it, alright? So all you do is you open this little guy. You just top off the bottle here, guys. This one is probably full, but I have been adding this to all of my customers instead of adding the blue one. Blue one freezes really easy. Alright, so here I have a blue one here. Guys, if you're using this one right here, it's gonna freeze. Use this one. This one might freeze too if it's very, very cold, but chances are less likely, alright? A lot of times, like this car had a fluid in there already, so the best thing we do to just use it out before it gets cold. We're still in October, we still have time. But very important, guys, to make sure you have washer fluid, all right? Very important. And make sure your pump is working. A lot of people, their pump is not working. There's a pump inside this, all right? When you push that button, it sprays it onto the windshield, all right? In winter, a lot of salt. You're gonna have the windshield is going to be all blocked up. You're going to be using this a lot. You know, if you're driving and somebody drives by you, next to you, splashes all the dirty snow, salted water, and it's going to block your vision, all right? So you're going to be spraying that on, all right, guys? So that's one thing you do want to check, all right? All right, guys, coming over this way, all right? Right here, it has a radiator cap in here. This is Acura MDX. Make sure your antifreeze is flushed out, guys. Make sure you use a good antifreeze like this one right here, Peak. It's not for this car, I'm just showing you. If you have a green antifreeze, Peak is very good. This one has blue inside. Any Acura or Hondas, they have a blue antifreeze. And make sure you flush the system, because if this freezes, it's gonna break things in your engine, alright? It's gonna break the block, it's gonna crack things, you know. You crank that car, if it managed to turn, you're going to break the water pump, all kinds of damage you're going to do, alright? Probably $140 job, $150 maximum. Flush this little guy, alright? Very simple. If you have a different year, make, and model, just look for a cap that looks something similar to this, that says antifreeze or coolant, alright? Like some cars have it over here, a bottle over here. Some cars have it, like a Chrysler 300 has it on that side, alright? So check your fluid, alright? While you're here, guys, also spray your locks, the hinges, everything. You could use a de-icer here, spray this down, and this works pretty good, guys. So anyways, de-icer, this is a de-icer, very good to have. You could just spray this on to your windshield anywhere, guys. All right, so that's another thing that you want to look into. All right, guys. All right, now guys, we're gonna move on to your battery, guys. Battery, all right, make sure it has good cold cranking amps. All right, I'm not gonna be able to see here. All right, I have so a cold cranking amp. You want to see CC8, like that one says 700, right? Make sure your car has good cold cranking amps. The battery has good cold cranking amps. All right, make sure your battery is not more than 3 years old. If it's more than 3 years old, it's gonna get you stuck on the road, guys. This battery right here is gonna get you stuck. If your battery has corrosion all over here, it looks dirty, filthy, and it's old, it's gonna get you stuck this winter. Change it, guys. Just do that. Replace it. You could buy yourself for 80 bucks, 90 bucks. I have a lot of videos on my channel about most of the cars, all right? And a lot of people tell me, oh, who can't change a battery on there was a Nissan I did, all right? Nissan Maxima. But it becomes handy, guys. So if you have a Nissan Maxima, I have a video out there for you guys, all right? So check that out. Check all your fluids, brake fluid. All right, I did an oil change on this car. Do a fresh oil change, guys, so you don't need to go anywhere. You're good. You hop into your car, bada bing, bada boom, point A to point B. Check your reservoir for the power steering. This one's full, all right? But if it needs to be flushed, guys, flush it. Let me put this little guy back together. All right, moving on. Make sure you check your belt like this one right here. This one looks pretty good. All right, and we're all done down here. I'm gonna clean up the leaves for this guy. And another thing is the de-icer will be very handy. All right, another thing that you want to check is your tire pressure. Very important, guys. Check your tire pressure. In winter, as the temperature goes below 0, you're gonna have probably 5 pounds less than what originally the tire had, all right? Or probably more. It depends on how cold the weather is in your area. So do check your tire pressure, all right, when it gets cold, all right? And some cars have TPMS sensor. You will get indication in the dash, some don't. But check your pressure, use a gauge like this one right here. Use a proper gauge. In winter, depending on what kind of car you got, if you got a Honda, Toyota, bring it down to 32, all right? So it's very simple. You remove the cap, put in the pressure. Make sure you monitor it with a gauge right there, you know. Make sure you have a proper gauge. You know, some gauges are not correct, all right? It might say you have 32 in there, but really you have probably 50 pounds of pressure in there. Especially if you go to the gas stations, those guys, their gauges are never right, all right? So this tire does have a leakage. I want to check. Probably got a nail and I will fix it. But just the tip is check your tire pressure this winter. So if you're hitting the road, and putting 32 psi will give you a better grip on the road. If you have too much air in it, it's going to be really hard. The car's going to be bouncy and not going to have a good grip on the road. Alright, so 32 is very good. Like this one right there, I got it at 32. Make sure you put on the cap. If you're missing a cap, you could buy these things for $5. All come with the valve stem, the plastic valves. This car has a TPMS sensor. If you have a metal valve, you have a TPMS. There's some plastic valves that does have TPMS sensors inside. Alright guys, so let's continue. Alright guys, another tip, what you should be checking this winter is before you hit the road or anything, have your mechanic check your front end, alright? If there's any play in this, you don't want to have a broken tie rod ball joint on the road and then you're in trouble, you know. It's a sub-zero outside, snowing, maybe a blizzard, and you're stuck on the road, alright? Also take a look at the brakes. These are the common things, you know. To get this thing tested out for free, just go for oil change. Your mechanic checks it. If you have a good mechanic, he checks all these things, you know. All you're gonna do is that, and if there's any play, he will let you know. But this one is pretty good. No play, no nothing. It's good to go. And we'll just continue, guys. There's so many tips I can give you, but only the main ones are just check little components so you don't get stuck for the tiny thing, alright? Like such as having a broken ball joint or your radiator antifreeze froze because you didn't flush it, alright? So my next tip is going to be about the radiator fluid, the antifreeze in the system. Alright, so let me bring this car down and we'll continue. Alright guys, one more thing you want to check on your car is the axle, alright? Pay attention to this axle right here. If the boot here is ripped, change it, replace it, alright? And if you hear a noise like click, 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 click when you're turning right or left, sharp turn, bad axle, guys. So in winter time, you're gonna be putting a lot of load on this car. You know when your car gets stuck in the snow and you want to go back, forth, get it out of there just because you're lazy to remove and shovel the snow. And I done it, I did it. That's the way to do it, you know. And it's cold out there, you don't want to be outside, you know. That's the whole point of checking this little guy, so you don't get stuck in the snow, right? So if you have bad axles, replace them, guys, all right? Because you might get stuck somewhere that you might need to spend like $200 on towing and replace this axle. If your mechanic is good, $240, $250, probably less, you know, up and down, no problem. But take a look at it. If it needs it, do it, all right? Oh, another thing, let me close this hood, all right? I'll get to these leaves later, all right? Guys, check your wiper blades, all right? If your wiper blades are not wiping properly and they don't look good, replace them, all right? Because you're gonna need these little guys this winter, all right? Make sure your wiper blades are good. Make sure all the tires are inflated like I showed you guys. And make sure all your lights are working. I can keep going, guys. I could be here all year long, tell you so many things. Check your wiper blades again, the back lights, the plate lights, license plate lights, reverse lights. Check everything you can possibly check, guys. It's gonna take you no more than 1 hour just to pinpoint what the car needs and then get it done. One last tip, guys. One last tip. How to get your car inspected, all right? And the mechanic can do it for you free. Just go for oil change, all right? And let them do the regular maintenance for you. Top of all fluid, probably gonna cost you $60, $70, all right? But they will check everything for you. You don't even have to do most of this stuff. And let them top off all the fluid, wiper blades, you can see it. Very simple, guys. They'll inspect your ball joints, tie rods, brakes, and everything. All right, guys, that's the most I can stress on this. Make sure your headlights are working, all right? So this should get you from point A to point B, no problem, guys. And there should be no issues. There should be no stopping on the road, all right? There should be no getting stuck. Let me check the RB, the mechanic, on YouTube, because my car got stuck on the road. And you send me a message. I might reply you back to you, but I might be on a holiday trip myself, you know? And I might not be able to help you there. But anyway, guys, send me a message. If it needs to be sent, send it to me. Worst come to worst, message me 2 or 3 times, you know, be like urgent. Sometimes I look at my messages, I have 4 messages, but really I'm at the church or a temple and I can't send a message out. But if I see urgent, you know, then I might get back to you, all right, guys? And I am here to help you. Anything, guys, anything you need help with, anything, doesn't have to be this, just send me a message, all right? If I can't help you, at least I'll give you an idea, or give you some type of support, what to do, how to go about it. All right, guys, so thank you, bye-bye, and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.